Did you know there's a time of day when taking a shower can put your life at risk? What if I told you that, for people over 70, simply stepping into the shower between 4 and 8 a.m. increases the risk of a fatal accident by 80%? That's right. What should be a moment of care and well-being can turn into a silent trap for your longevity. But why does no one talk about this? The truth is that there are hidden risk factors compromising the health of millions of older adults every day, ranging from sudden drops in blood pressure and reduced brain function to the dangerous combination of bathing and certain medications. And the worst part, all this happens while the world is still asleep, far from any chance of immediate help. So, if you're over 60 or care for someone who is, this video is absolutely urgent. Before we begin, subscribe to this channel. Here you'll find information that saves lives, transforms routines, and ensures healthy, safe aging. Our commitment is to your health, your independence, and your well-being. Today I'm going to show you, based on real studies and cases I've followed closely as a geriatric physician, the 8 greatest dangers of the morning shower for seniors, and what you need to do right now to avoid a tragedy. Stay until the end, because the last tip could be the difference between an ordinary morning and a preventable disaster. Let's get straight to the point, because your life can't wait. Many people believe that an early shower brings vigor and energy, but what few know, and what science has already proven, is that this practice can hide serious risks to health in the third age. According to studies from the Harvard Medical School, seniors who shower between 4 and 8 a.m. increase their risk of fatal accidents by up to 80%. That's because at that hour the body is still in a metabolic and cardiovascular transition, which directly affects blood pressure and reaction capacity. During the early morning hours, the cardiovascular system goes through a true trial by fire. Heart rate accelerates without warning, blood pressure swings like a pendulum, and blood remains thick from overnight dehydration. This scenario is especially dangerous for those with a history of hypertension, diabetes, or heart failure, conditions that, as we know, are common among older adults and directly impact longevity and well-being. What few physicians mention is that bathing, even if it seems harmless, demands significant physiological effort from the body. To regulate temperature, blood vessels constrict or dilate rapidly, which can trigger sudden collapse, dizziness, or even a heart attack. Clinical cases like that of Mrs. Noemi, age 74, who fainted in the shower after waking early to attend Mass, illustrate how simple daily habits, when poorly timed, become silent risk factors. The most surprising part is that, with small adjustments, you can preserve physical resilience and avoid serious consequences. Delaying your shower until after breakfast, for example, lets your body activate its systems more evenly. Hydrating beforehand, keeping the bathroom warm, and avoiding sudden temperature changes are simple measures that, combined, can save lives. All this is part of a broader vision of healthy aging, where daily routine care becomes the key to disease prevention. Reduced cognitive function in the early hours. Few realize it, but the brain also wakes up slowly. In the early morning, especially between 4 and 8 hours, a senior's cognitive function can operate up to 30% more slowly, according to researchers at Stanford University. That means reaction times, risk perception, and decision-making capacity are significantly impaired, turning the bathroom into a minefield for anyone seeking longevity and independence. A striking example is Franklin Wilson, a 76-year-old man who, upon waking and heading straight to the shower, didn't notice the water was scalding. His reflexes were too slow to move away, and he suffered second-degree burns. This happens because at that hour, the brain is still under the influence of melatonin, the sleep hormone that slows senses and clouds reasoning, directly impacting third-age health. Moreover, fine motor coordination and balance are also compromised during this window. It's as if the body is rebooting and everything moves in slow motion. In that time frame, even simple tasks, turning a faucet or stepping off a bath mat, become risky. And the worst part, many seniors don't even perceive this sluggishness, preventing them from taking precautions. Awareness and adapting the morning routine are thus crucial measures for safe, healthy aging. A simple but effective strategy is to wait at least 30 minutes after waking before making any moves involving walking or hot water. Having a light coffee, stretching and drinking water help the brain fully power on. This prevents careless mistakes that can lead to falls or burns, promoting resilience, well-being, and the prevention of avoidable illnesses. Morning dehydration and risk of falls. Upon waking, an older adult's body enters a silent, alert state. Overnight, even without noticing, they lose fluids through breathing and sweating, resulting in a common yet dangerous condition, morning dehydration. Combined with shower heat and an upright posture, this can trigger orthostatic hypotension, a sudden blood pressure drop that sabotages the balance system. The result? Up to a 70% greater risk of falls, according to Mayo Clinic data. It's in this scenario that many accidents happen, and unfortunately often. A case that marked my career was that of Mrs. Yvonne, age 81, who slipped upon exiting the shower after waking up feeling warm. The problem wasn't just the wet floor, but the sudden dizziness from her blood pressure dropping. She hadn't drunk water since the night before, and that small detail became a risk factor, threatening her independence and quality of life. The most interesting and saddest part is that the solution is simple, yet almost no one mentions it. Drink a glass of water 15 minutes before showering. This seemingly harmless act helps the body balance fluids, stabilize pressure, and prepare for the shower's heat. Geriatric physicians warn hydrating upon waking is a pillar of circulatory disease prevention and a key step towards safe, long-lasting aging. That advice should be posted on every refrigerator door in a home with an older adult. Like brushing teeth or taking medications, drinking water upon waking should be a sacred ritual. And if it's warm water with a bit of lemon, even better. It aids digestion, detoxifies, and gently wakes the body. Simple details like this become great allies for resilient, healthy aging. Impact of hot water on the fragile body. Few people realize that a hot morning shower can turn into a silent trap for an older person's body. When we wake, our core temperature is still low, which forces the cardiovascular system to work hard against the thermal shock of hot water. This sudden stress triggers a dangerous chain reaction. Vessels dilate, the heart rate spikes, and the risk of arrhythmias or circulatory collapse increases. It's the kind of invisible threat that jeopardizes longevity without warning. An unforgettable example is Albert Reynolds, age 83. He woke with joint pain and decided to take a hot shower immediately. The intense heat, combined with low core temperature and morning stiffness typical of aging, triggered a severe atrial fibrillation episode. He received timely care, but took 3 weeks to recover fully. Situations like this show that, if rushed, even a simple shower can leave lasting physical and emotional scars. With age, the body loses its rapid adaptability to temperature changes. This is known as an attenuated thermoregulatory response, directly tied to weakening of the autonomic system that regulates internal heat. An older adult might feel comfortable in the shower, but internally, their body fights to avoid collapse. That's why geriatricians insist on 3 golden rules for healthy aging: lukewarm water, a warm environment, and a short exposure time. Installing a simple shower thermometer, keeping doors and windows closed to prevent drafts, and using non-slip mats are precautions that help turn the shower into a moment of well-being rather than risk. And if possible, make that shower after breakfast, when the body is more awake and ready for temperature change. Details like these ensure physical resilience and make all the difference in preventing daily accidents. Dangerous interaction with medications. Did you know that your shower time can directly interfere with your medications? Indeed, and this topic rarely comes up, even in medical consultations. Many seniors take blood pressure meds right upon waking, which in theory is correct. However, when that medication's peak effect coincides with a prolonged hot shower, the result can be dangerous. A sharp drop in blood pressure, fainting, and even traumatic injury. It's an explosive combination for third-age health. This is exactly what happened to Patricia Sullivan, age 78, who began experiencing dizziness and blurred vision right after her shower. Investigation revealed she took her antihypertensive at 6 a.m. and went to shower minutes later. The hot water dilated her vessels, the medication accelerated vasodilation, and her brain received less blood. The fix? She started taking her pill at 6 a.m., but postponed her shower until after 9 a.m. She never felt dizzy again. A simple adjustment that restored her well-being. The problem is that this kind of interaction rarely gets the seriousness it deserves. Drugs like amlodipine, losartan, hydrochlorothiazide and propranolol peak in action 1 to 3 hours after ingestion, and during that period, the body needs thermal stability and rest. It's not the time to challenge it with steam, heat, or physical exertion. Disease prevention also means knowing the right moment to act, and often showering is best left until after the critical phase of medication. What I recommend to my patients is simple: establish a morning ritual that respects your body. After taking your medication, sit at the table, enjoy a light coffee, read something inspiring, and only then consider the shower. This not only helps your body respond better to the drugs, but also fosters a healthy lifestyle routine with space for introspection and self-care. Ultimately, it's this calm discipline that sustains a long, stable, and resilient life. Real cases that raise alerts. No matter how compelling the scientific data, nothing teaches like real-life stories. Ordinary people who, through oversight or lack of guidance, faced serious consequences. Stanley Peterson, an active 82-year-old man, died after slipping in the bathroom immediately upon waking. It was a Sunday, he had slept little, and he decided to shower at 5:30 a.m. The mix of unstable pressure, reduced cognitive function, and dehydration proved fatal, an everyday routine that ended in tragedy. Beata Triss Harper, on the other hand, was luckier. At 75, she fell in a dark bathroom at 6 a.m. and wasn't found until around 10 a.m. She spent over 4 hours on the floor, unable to move. The fall resulted in a fractured femur, temporary loss of mobility, and emotional trauma, constant fear and insomnia. Situations like hers clearly illustrate the silent risk factors surrounding the morning shower and show how emotional and physical resilience can be abruptly compromised. These stories profoundly moved my medical practice and showed me that behind every seemingly harmless routine, there may lie habits that undermine longevity and disease prevention. That's why I advise all my patients to rethink their personal hygiene schedules. It's not about instilling fear, but about raising awareness. An informed older person has a better chance of living well, with autonomy, dignity, and health. And more than that, they inspire those around them. Adopting new habits may seem hard at first, but the rewards come quickly. Changing your shower time, preparing your environment safely, and ensuring proper hydration are actions that transform lives. Every day I see patients gain confidence, energy, and joy by implementing simple changes. It's as if their bodies say, "Thank you," and in fact they do. After all, healthy aging isn't about stopping life, but about learning to live with wisdom. Finally, let's reflect on the speed of emergency response in the morning. Few imagine that the timing of an accident can determine its outcome. Recent studies indicate that when an older adult falls in the bathroom between 4 and 8 a.m., the chances of receiving timely help drop by up to 40%, and this happens for a simple reason. During that window, most people are still asleep, caregivers are getting ready for the day, and neighbors, who might hear a call for help, haven't woken up. It's a silent, solitary moment where vulnerability is at its peak. This time frame, known among physicians as the home risk hour, can turn a simple accident into a serious trauma. When help doesn't arrive quickly, the older person faces cold floors, the physical and emotional stress of pain, and prolonged dehydration. The so-called golden hour, which ensures success in emergency care, is often lost. What could have been a scare turns into hospitalization, or worse, irreversible loss of function. That's why we emphasize rapid response strategies so much. Emergency alarms in the bathroom, alert bracelets, and even voice assistants programmed for simple commands can make all the difference. In my clinic, I often say, time is the greatest ally of longevity, or its worst enemy if you're unprepared. Preparing your home and routine to react swiftly to any unforeseen event is central to preventing disease and injury. And more, talking to family members about these time-related risks, organizing attentive caregiving shifts, and including a morning check-in as part of daily care can be the key to safe, healthy aging. After all, no one wants to live in fear, but rather in freedom. And freedom, in the third age, means being able to rely on your surroundings. The resilience we seek to build goes beyond the body. It begins in the mind, passes through habits, and ends in time management. Now tell me, did you ever imagine that the morning shower could hide so many dangers? Or do you know someone who's been through something similar? Share it in the comments. Your experience could help many others to prevent it. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Here you'll keep receiving deep, direct and transformative content about longevity, senior health, and how to live with more well-being and autonomy. By the way, the video that's about to appear on your screen reveals another common habit that may be silently sabotaging your health. Click and continue this journey of learning. See you in the next video. Take good care, and until then,